The Before Trilogy, aka Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight, aka those three films where the couple just walk and talk. Oh man, it brings me such joy talking about these films. Plain and simple, guys, I think this is one of the best trilogies I've ever seen, ever. There's just no weak link and I struggle to pick a favourite. But I'm not going to go too deep into spoilers here because I want you guys to discover what you take away from watching these two characters interact. But I will give a quick synopsis of the plot of the first one. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy both play as Jesse and Celine. They meet on a train in Europe and agree to spend one night together in Vienna, knowing that they're both never going to see each other again, as they both have to go back to their home countries the next day. And as they get to know each other, a subtle romance begins blossoming, but they know they can't do much about it because they're never going to see each other again, right? So this whole film is just them walking and talking, but something about it is remarkably charming. For a lot of people this could be boring, but for me, I was just hooked by it. And when I first saw them, I was so moved, I just couldn't recommend them enough to everyone I knew. I mean, a few years ago I spent about £400 on my best friend Andy, and I got him about 71 DVDs and Blu-rays. Of course, I had to get him the Before Trilogy. That's the third one, I got you all three.
A third what? What is it?
I told you, it's those three films where the couple are just walking and talking, but they all became big classics that made it on IMDb's top 250.
Right.
Amazing. Absolute amazing achievements in filmmaking. You're gonna love them.
Dude, this is so fucking cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And yes, of course, he did love them. Now, what I want you guys to know about me is that I freaking love romance films, but I do recognize the vast majority of them are corny and no, I can't get with all of them. But every now and again, you do get a rare type of romance film that decides to do something quite unique. And Before Sunrise just did that in spades. Watching these two characters walk and talk, interacting, opening each other up with these very interesting lines of dialogue was baffling to me. I couldn't believe how much conflict there was in between these lines without it being obvious. The simple fact that they don't have enough time to spend with each other just makes me feel nervous as the time for them to separate draws nearer and nearer. And the dialogue runs serious risk of feeling pretentious, but because these characters are deep thinkers, it makes sense why they would speak in the way that they do. And it all feels so realistic. They go on tangents, they get nervous and crack jokes when they feel uncomfortable. The dialogue just feels far from movie, you know? Not much of their dialogue sets up things and are referenced later on. It just feels like you're a fly on the wall watching two characters interact. And I refuse to go into spoilers with the sequels, but all I'm going to say is, with each film they aged 9 years. In the first one they're in their early 20s, then early 30s, and then eventually their early 40s. I also love it when actors and actresses age with their characters as the sequels go on. And the Before Trilogy did it better than most of them out there. It's just wonderful. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy are absolutely phenomenal in these roles, and I think both of these are their best performances ever. The way they bring Jesse and Celine to life is nothing short of phenomenal. It's some of the best acting I've seen in any film ever. And they're written so perfectly, man. I just wouldn't change anything about them. The way with each film they've gained something but lost something of themselves as time goes on it just stills my heart. I find it so relentlessly moving. For me, whenever I watch Jesse and Celine talking, the feelings I get are synonymous with the feelings I get when watching Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker fighting. It's a sight I just can't forget. Watching these characters age with each other, walking and talking and just getting to know each other, it's everything to me. I already loved the first one when I first saw it. I loved the second one when I watched it straight after, and I also loved the third one. But they each elevated each other to such classic standards in my eyes that now, I just can't forget them. They just feel so unique to me. The Before Trilogy is one of the many reasons why I adore film. If you guys can stomach the idea of just two people walking and talking. I cannot recommend these films enough. I'm going to give the Before Trilogy a 10 out of 10. Christ, I love these films. Now, before I quickly end this, I want to say that the director, Richard Linklater, he's done some very unique films out there, like Boyhood, which literally took 12 years to film, Slacker, Dazed and Confused, A Scanner Darkly, and Waking Life. He does some very strange, non-conventional films. Well, in Waking Life, Jesse and Celine get this very weird little cameo in there for 5 minutes. It's quite an interesting little scene. You might not fully be into that film, but I would recommend checking them out in this unique little dream sequence thing. It's a weird film. And also look up the story as to how Richard Linklater came up with this plot. It's pretty beautiful actually, but very painful. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The badger appreciates you.